For all the latest news in North Central Washington, go to ncwlife.com or find us on Facebook. Got a news tip? Email us at news@ncwlife.com or call 888-2020.
Hi, and welcome to the Life of Lisa Bradshaw show. Today we're concentrating on services provided to homeless people right here in our community. We'll be talking with Shawn Arington of Lighthouse Christian Ministries. Later in the show, we'll have interviews I conducted previously via Skype with a mother and son who have a blessing box in front of their home in Wichita, Kansas, as well as a woman who is feeding homeless in her community by clipping coupons. Thanks for being here, Shawn.
Oh, it's good to be here. Thank you.
So tell us, I came in contact with Lighthouse Christian Ministries when it first started, when it just started with meals, and you said that was back in 2010?
Yeah, we first served a meal in the middle of February 2010, and that was while Bob Rogers and Karen Rogers were, the first ones. They were the founders of it.
And so it's come a long way since then.
Absolutely.
We won't get way ahead of ourselves, because when I was talking to you before the show and we were talking about prep for the show, I had no idea the growth that's been in place. But you talk about it being a place of serving food, feeding the people who come, but also about relationships. So just talk about the mission and the goal of the overall program.
Absolutely. Well, first and foremost, we are a Christian organization, but anybody is welcome to come in. It doesn't matter if they're homeless or if they have a home or if they have 10 homes. We are just there to provide services to whoever comes in the door, and most of them are homeless or very near homeless. So having a cup of coffee and having a snack in between meals, or having the meal itself 3 times a day, or even a place to sit down and talk with somebody is very important.
So the definition of homeless considered by your ministry, what is that definition?
Well, that would be people who have no homes. We also agree that a large number of people are considered homeless who are maybe couch surfing, who are, they don't know necessarily where they'll be tomorrow.
So when they come to you, sometimes does it start with the meal and then they figure out what it is that they need? But what can someone expect when they come in, and what is your main goal from that interaction?
Well, it almost always starts with the meal. People are in need, and when a need is met, then a trust is formed. And so as we continue to feed people and to learn their names, that's the first thing that I like to do when somebody comes in. I learn their names. And as soon as I know their name and they know my name, then that is the opportunity for a conversation. And our goal really is to befriend the people that are in situations where normally they wouldn't be experiencing friendship, or somebody that really cares about them, or somebody that they can really rely on because of the situations or circumstances they're finding themselves in. And we want to get them in a friendship that's going to bring fruit and get them out of that.
And one of the things, I talked with someone recently about the importance of learning someone's name and how that is the beginning of a build of a relationship. And if they're homeless, then sometimes maybe they feel nameless as well.
Absolutely. I was homeless for the majority of 15 years, and I don't remember anybody coming up to me on the street and saying, "Hey, who are you? What's your name?
How are you doing,
let's
Shawn?"
Let's
Yeah.
hang out. Let's have
Yeah.
a cup of coffee somewhere."
Right.
It just doesn't happen normally.
So that gets us to how you found Lighthouse Ministries. So you are there in a working capacity now, but you were there as a patron, is that the word we'd use?
Yeah, I came about a month before the doors opened, and I met with Bob, and they prayed for me. But what they really did is they gave me a place to be effective, and they answered a lot of questions that I had that I didn't know where to get them answered anywhere else. So when I arrived to Wenatchee, I was at the end of a majority of 15 years of homelessness, like I said, and I was able to find a house by the grace of God within the first 24 hours of being here, a place that was allowing me to stay there. So the next morning I went down to where the lighthouse was being worked on. John Wagner actually brought me down there, and he said, "You have to come see what's happening. They're going to open up a soup kitchen." And I felt at home as soon as I walked in. They learned my name, and they started a relationship with me, and I didn't have any relationships or friendships at the time, so that's where I wanted to be.
Not one?
No, not really.
So when you, what was your feel? I mean, you said you felt right at home right from the beginning, so it started there, but what was your feeling about moving forward? Were you open to that idea, or were you still kind of in a place of uncertainty?
I was definitely uncertain about it. I just wanted to help out. Inwardly, I was enjoying the friendships, and I was enjoying the compassion and the love that I was receiving. And outwardly, I was having something to do, which being effective really helped me to stay sober and to I went in and I washed a lot of dishes for 6 months, and numerous times they offered me keys, and I remember I told Bob, nope, don't do that, don't do that.
I'm not ready for that.
Eventually I gave in.
Right, and so you found a purpose there.
Absolutely.
And your purpose has grown, obviously, from just having that relationship to doing dishes to being willing and responsible to hold their keys. And so now what is your role there?
Well, right now I am one of the pastors, and I'm the worship leader, and I'm also the executive director over all 7 forms of ministry that happen in different locations in the valley.
We're kind of connecting the one portion of Lighthouse Christian Ministries to the stories that we're sharing later in the show, and we have some pictures to take a look at of volunteers that you have that have provided their time at the kitchen.
Yeah.
And I think they're pulling those up there now. So people come in, is it all volunteer?
We have 1 to 2 staff members, but no more than 1 at a time, and most of it's volunteer staff members. You can see the food is quite amazing. People come down. We often are running on 200 to 300 volunteers per month. Wow. And they come down and they choose what they want to serve. They can bring in their own food, or they can find the food that we picked up from the grocery stores and that's come in from the community. And really, it's a place that people have fun for all ages and get to form relationships and help people.
And I see there's a couple of kids in the picture. We want to say their names, right? Since they're going to be on TV.
Well, I don't remember their names, but it's Jeremy Ganji. He's pastor of the Breath of Life Church, and that's his wife and 2 beautiful children, and some other families that are helping out. So
they come and they get a good meal. It's not just, soup and crackers. I mean, soup kitchens probably come in all different forms, right? But you guys have some nice stuff there.
Yeah, it's called a soup kitchen, but I really love it when the Thai restaurant caters, and when Gasparetti's, or not Gasparetti's, I'm sorry, Garlini's, that's the Yakima restaurant, Garlini's sends down their food also, and it's really amazing. The barbecue that we received donated from the new barbecue place by Dilly Deli is just amazing. But people come in also that are trained to be chefs all their life, and they really enjoy cooking. And then as long as they're cooking, it's great. If I go, I often go to soup form because I'm untrained in that area.
I've just learned to cook over the last few years. It's kind of a nice thing to do, but to do it on that scale, it'd be pretty amazing.
Yeah, it actually becomes really fun because there's these large grills and surfaces, and I had a volunteer that came down, and she used to crack eggs every morning. We go through about 5 to 10 dozen eggs every morning for the people.
And that was part of her role there.
Yeah, and when she was at home, she was talking to her daughter one time, and she realized her daughter was looking at her funny because she just cracked 18 eggs in a row out of the whole case.
Oh, she didn't realize she had that skill either.
It changes your mind frame when you're cooking for a lot of people.
Right. So then what does the community need from you? You guys are growing, there's a new facility coming. Tell us a little bit about your growth and any needs that might need to be met.
Well, we're looking forward to relocating the medical and dental clinic as well as the soup kitchen into one general location, which is going to be down at 410 South Columbia Street. We have been raising funds for that beginning last year. We're getting very close to the end of that. I believe we still need about $150,000 to finish this fundraising period. And hopefully within about a year we'll be located there, and we'll have actual offices for the pastoral care and for the counseling and place for storage of food. 33,000 square feet that we can use for ministry.
Wow. So it all started with a couple of meals with the Rogers couple, and they have helped grow it to that.
Absolutely.
To what it is today.
Absolutely. People in the community would continue to just approach us. They would see what was going well, and they would ask us to do something in another location, and our response was always no.
Oh, no? It was no?
Well, we didn't have plans, but God had bigger plans, and we would have to be convinced.
It's always bigger than what you can dream for yourself, right?
Yeah, we were quite content with just being a soup kitchen, but the growth and the needs and the opportunity were so good and so obviously put there by the Lord that we had to say yes, and it's all gone very well.
How can people find out more information, people who are watching the show? You have a Facebook page.
Absolutely. The Facebook page is Wenatchee Lighthouse, or they can friend me on there also, Shawn Arington. And
one R.
Yeah, one R. It looks like Arington. It's a ringtone without an E at the end. And then they can also go to WenatcheeLighthouse.org. There's all information on all the ministries, the preschool, the clinic, the housings, the discipling programs, the shelters. It's all available there. There's also a tab that says Get Involved, which is where somebody can find out what they may be able to help with.
On a volunteer basis.
On a volunteer basis.
And or donations as well.
Yeah, there's also always need for donations, of course, with any other ministry.
Right.
We do appreciate that as well.
So I thank you for joining me today and sharing all this information. I think it pairs well with the stories. So I'm trying to make sure that we always are sharing with the audience what's happening in our community, but also reaching out throughout the country and even the world, sharing these other viral stories that happen that we see on Facebook. You're active on Facebook, that we see in social media. So that's what we'll be doing when we come back. We'll air the interviews that I did via Skype with Lauren, who is a coupon clipper feeding people throughout the country, specifically in her neck of the woods there on the East Coast. And then Paxton and his mom, Maggie, they have a blessing box in front of their house in Wichita, Kansas. So we talked to them from their places of residence, which is really cool to get to share that with everyone who's watching the show. So when we come back, we'll talk with both of them. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Lisa.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Are you wanting high-speed internet but don't have access to PUD fiber? Try Sky-Fi high-speed wireless internet from LocalTel. Call 888-8888 today.
Hi, we're back. Thanks for joining us. Last week I had an opportunity to catch up with a woman named Lauren Perrier via Skype. I found her story on Facebook. It's one of those viral stories that we see sometimes. Her goal at 29 years old was to feed 30,000 people by her 30th birthday. She exceeded that goal in record time. We're talking with Lauren Perrier. Found her and her help for the homeless people and people in need of being fed. And we're going to talk with her from, you're in Woodbridge, Virginia, right?
Yes.
Thanks for being here all the way from Virginia.
Thank
Skype
you.
is great, isn't it? I'm so excited to get to talk to you. So I found you through a viral post when you were trying to raise enough food through coupons to feed 30,000 people by your 30th birthday. So tell us a little bit about how things got started and where you are today with your organization.
Okay, so I started couponing about maybe a year ago now. I was introduced to it by a local mom who was also a couponer. And I told her about how I go out on the weekends and feed the homeless with my friends and my family. And she asked me how I paid for it. So I said that we paid for it out of pocket and from donations. And she was like, "You're crazy. You have to start couponing." So I was like, "No, I don't really have the time." I wasn't really interested. She had a coupon class and I attended the class. And ever since then, I just fell in love with couponing and it became an obsession. So on my 29th birthday, which was in September, I set a goal to feed 30,000 people by my 30th birthday, all by using coupons. And it has been such an amazing experience. And we actually just reached our goal. We've exceeded it now, and it's been so much fun.
So you're way ahead of schedule.
Way ahead, yes.
Good for you. So I took a look at some of the pictures you sent me, and I saw a campsite. So tell us what's going on there.
So that was a campsite in where I live called Woodbridge, Virginia. And the homeless people, they live on that property. They set up tents and they're very resourceful and gather different materials and things that we throw away. And they use it and make it their home. They have a burner out there. Some have generators that they run from wherever they can find power. And they make it work with what they have.
And so you set up shop out there and fed people.
Yes, we recently go and we frequently go to the campsites and feed them because they need it and we love to help. So most of the time we'll bring the food ready to eat and sometimes we'll give them like packages of hot dogs and they can cook it themselves on their burners.
That you leave behind some things for them.
Yes.
So tell us about For the Love of Others. Tell us about your organization and what your goals are, your mission, and how you're working today.
Sure. So we started For the Love of Others in 2012. Myself, my sister, and a couple of my family members. We started it in remembrance of our grandmother who passed away in March of 2012. She always raised us to believe that it was important to help other people and that we should always give back to our community. We all grew up in Paterson, New Jersey, and in that area, there's a lot of crime and poverty. So our grandmother always taught us to not throw our food away and just go bring it outside. Or if our clothes didn't fit, she would tell us to go donate it to a local shelter or orphanage. So we started doing that, and then it became a part of our life. So once she passed away, my family said, you know what, we need to do something to live on her legacy. And we started For the Love of Others. We started off by doing Thanksgiving baskets at Thanksgiving time for families in need, and then a Christmas toy drive for children. It wasn't until recently that we started feeding the homeless, but we do different projects throughout the New Jersey, Maryland, Virginia, and Washington, D.C. areas.
That's amazing. So you have a board of, I read your website, and all these very strong and, focused people on your board who have the same vision you do.
Yes, it's really amazing to be able to work with close friends as well as family members and all share the same vision and get along and have fun doing it. My sister serves as our president, and then our vice president and other board members are all family members and really, really close friends who are just like family. So we really have a good time, and we put a lot of effort and a lot of love into everything that we do. And it's just been an overall amazing experience to help other people.
Hence the term For the Love of Others, right?
Right.
So what's next for you guys? What's that?
We take love seriously in my family.
That's good. We do too in mine. What is next for you guys?
Well, we're hoping that we can somehow eradicate world hunger. We're seeing every day, and especially throughout our mission to feed 30,000 meals, we saw that hunger doesn't always mean you're homeless. And a lot of the people who needed food from us were average, everyday working Americans who were living paycheck to paycheck and just didn't have enough to make ends meet. So we are meeting to discuss innovative ways to work on more of a macro level and maybe change some legislation and laws and rules governing food and shelters and food banks and things of that nature to be able to help more than just the homeless population.
You make a very good point by saying that. I think a lot of times people don't realize that kids who go to school who get that lunch, that's their main meal of the day. And summer's tough for families that rely on school food service. And so that's a very good point. Thanks for pointing that out. It isn't just about the homeless, but about people in our country who are struggling. Right. So I thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Well, so for theloveofothers.net, I want to share that with our viewers and put a link on our website to your organization, anything that we can do to help way out here on the West Coast. But it's so great, this Skype thing and social media. I know that there's a lot of negative comments about social media and the harm that it can do, but this is put to good use. So I'm excited about the opportunity to talk to people like you that I'd otherwise never get to meet. So it's an honor to meet you and share your story. She has an extraordinary story. When we come back, we'll talk with Maggie and Paxton Ballard. They have a blessing box in front of their home in Wichita, Kansas.
Please join us weekly for the 12th District with yours truly, Carrie Condata. Check your channel guide for times or go to ncwlife.com for details.
Hi, thanks for coming back. Next, we're talking with Maggie and Paxton Ballard. They have a blessing box in front of their home in Wichita, Kansas. Paxton is a really cute kid. We had a lot of fun getting ready for the show. He made this video that you'll see later just for us.
Hi, I'm from Wichita, Kansas, and I have a blessing box with my mom, and I have hygiene, and it has like 2 kinds of soaps, and 3 kinds of soaps, and a toothbrush, crackers, 2 kinds of crackers, okay, and I have some noodles, And I have diapers. And I have these tiny packages. Well, I have some baby food.
So sometimes, at least once a week, people drop things off on our porch. Why don't you grab that bag and we'll take it outside?
Okay. Did I do a good job?
All right, I'll follow you.
Oops. Thank you, Mom.
Oh, looks like we need some stuff. So do you see people drop things off?
Yeah. I think they mostly come at nighttime. Like in the middle of the night, and that's like weird. Like how do people get sleep?
Yeah, well that's nice that they can come any time of day because we never know when people are going to be hungry.
Yeah, you never know.
How does it make you feel when you come out in the morning and you see that people have used the blessing box?
Excited.
Okay, let's see the sign on the front. Can you tell me what it says?
Take a blessing when you need one.
Leave a blessing.
Leave blessing when you can.
Very good.
We're Skyping with Maggie and her son Paxton, Maggie and Paxton Ballard, in Wichita, Kansas. You saw the video of Paxton filling up their blessing box. Now we're going to talk with both of them a little bit about how it got started and where it's going today. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, Paxton.
Hi.
You did a very good job on that video. Thanks for doing that for us. I found your story on Facebook. People shared it with me. I like to have people on the show who are doing good things in the world. You're doing a good job. So tell us how the blessing box got started, Maggie.
I saw it on social media, and I thought that it would be an interesting and fun project, so to speak, for Paxton and I. So I showed it to him, and we live on a very busy street that gets a lot of traffic. So I took a screenshot of it and sent it to my friend, and he built it, and that's how it got started.
And Paxton, you've kind of taken it over. Your mom says you take a lot of responsibility for filling it every time you get donations.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that. So what's a typical day for you, like filling it up?
Every single day.
Every single day. So you get donations. What are some of the things that people give to you?
Cup noodles, crackers, soup.
So food and diapers and toiletries, so toothbrushes and things like that. And the whole idea is that if you take something, you need it, and if you can give it, you give it too. That's the idea?
Yeah.
Yeah? So how long have you had the blessing box, Paxton?
In October.
I'm sorry?
October.
October? And it's already gone viral on Facebook. It's a short period of time to have that much success. So how does it feel? You said that you feel excited when people come and make donations, and you see that even when it's empty, it makes you feel excited because that means someone who needed your help got the help they needed. Uh-huh. So what can we do to help you? Do you guys need more donations? Should we put information on our website? What is your goal coming up? What's next for you guys, Maggie?
A couple of people have reached out to us locally, and we're kind of working on maybe getting a second box put out. So people have been extremely generous so far, but we're always looking for more donations just to keep it going. Unfortunately, I can see how much it's used. There's obviously a need for it, so we are working to get our second box set up so that we can help some other people in another part of our city and hopefully, since it's gone viral, some other towns have decided to put them up as well.
That's great. And I see too that, well, when watching the video that we showed before you guys came on, I see Paxton, you were so polite to your mom when she helped you with the door, saying thank you, and I just think you're a great kid. Your mom and I have talked off air a couple of times getting ready for the show, and I think you're doing a great job, Mom. Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Well, Paxton, is there anything you want to say before we hang up?
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for being on the show today. And thanks for all the hard work you're doing for people who need food and toiletries and other things that you put in your blessing box.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. We appreciate you helping spread the word.
Happy to do it. You guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll be in touch. Let me know when you get that other box.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for being here. Bye. I really enjoyed sharing these stories with you today right here in our community, as well as the Skype stories we shared from throughout the country. If you have a viral story that you'd like to share with us, please send it to me, Lisa@ncwlife.com.
Stay up to date with what's happening in North Central Washington. Go to the NCW Life community calendar at ncwlife.com.